The rain had not stopped for 3 days. It ran in rivulets down the warped shutters of the tavern, beating a steady rhythm on the roof that made the hearth's crackle all the more comforting. The air smelled faintly of salt. The sea was close tonight, closer than it ought to be. A lone figure pushed through the door, bringing with him a spray of cold mist. He shook himself like a dog, the waxed coat he wore slick with seawater, though I suspected he'd walked here, not sailed. He had that look of a man who knew the ocean's moods far too well, lean as a mast rope, eyes like distant thunder. He ordered no drink, just stood by the hearth a long while, letting the heat thaw his fingers, before finally turning to me. "You keep tales here," he said. Not a question. "I do." "Then you might take this one. It's heavy, needs somewhere to rest." I nodded toward the empty corner table, where shadows gathered thick as secrets. We sat, and he began. It was a month past midsummer, he told me, when he signed on with a small crew bound for the Bleakwater Shoals. A half-day's sail out from the main shipping lanes, they were treacherous waters, all jagged rock and swirling current. But the captain had heard of something out there, something worth the risk, a derelict vessel older than any chart, her hull black as pitch, her masts crowned with tattered flags from no country he knew. The locals swore she was cursed, but then, locals always say that. They reached the shoals at dawn. The sky was clear, but the sea was wrong. It lay flat as hammered glass, the swells gone, the breeze stilled. Not a gull in sight, only the slow tolling of a bell, deep, resonant, somewhere out on the water. They found her just as the captain said. She drifted with no anchor, her timbers slick with age, her figurehead a carved lantern, forever unlit. Climbing aboard was like stepping into a grave. The air was heavy, thick with the scent of brine and rot. Ropes lay coiled in strange, deliberate shapes, and the deckboards were gouged with deep scratches, too wide for a blade. Below, they found no bodies, no crew, only the lantern. It was the same as the figureheads, wrought from brass so tarnished it was almost green, its glass panes etched with twisting patterns that hurt the eye to follow. Inside, instead of a candle, a black flame curled and swayed, giving off no light, only a faint hum, like the drone of distant voices. The captain, thinking it a curio to sell, ordered it stowed. That night, anchored in the lee of the shoals, the sea began to whisper. The man swore it was true, a sound like a tide over pebbles, but threaded with words. Not in any tongue he knew, yet he understood. Promises, pleas, laughter like the curling of waves. One by one, the crew rose from their hammocks, drawn up on deck, their eyes glassy in the moonlight. And there, hanging from the mainmast where they'd lashed it, the lantern swayed. The black flame had grown brighter, though still it gave no light, only shadow. The voices swelled. A shape moved in the water alongside. Pale faces just beneath the surface, hair streaming like kelp, lips moving in the same soundless words. Sirens, though he'd never seen their like. Not beautiful, as in the stories, but terrible in their hunger. When the first man stepped over the rail, the sea took him without a splash. The rest followed, slow and unblinking, until only the man telling me the tale and the captain remained. The captain clutched the lantern to his chest, muttering about its worth, about the gold it would bring. He never made it past the gunwale. The man fled to the longboat, rowing until his arms burned, the voices chasing him over the waves. When at last he looked back, the derelict and the shoals were gone. Only the tolling bell remained, fading into the mist. He finished his story and sat very still. Outside, the rain had stopped, though I thought I heard a faint hum beneath the wind. What became of the lantern? I asked. His jaw worked. If I told you I left it, would you believe me? I said nothing. He stood, pulling his coat tight. Best not to sail north of here, he said. Not unless you're ready to pay the price. And without another word, he was gone, the door swinging shut behind him. The hearth's flames guttered, though no draught had touched them. Somewhere far out at sea, I thought I heard a bell toll, deep, resonant, and I could almost see the lantern's black flame swaying in time.